the topic today is really about how we influence people in the world, how we meet people, and when we really meet them and lift them up, there's a reaction. And do we see that? So I'm going to show you something that I actually sent to everybody that's on my mailing list last month. And when I was thinking about this talk, I didn't really like the talk they gave us because to me it wasn't as deep as we needed to go. What I'm going to show you here, and you're actually going to get a sample of this, is it came on the right day when I needed to hear it. You know what those things are like? I needed to hear this, so I'm just going to move right into it. Any of you remember this, getting this?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to read it because it's so valuable to today's talk. It says, as the world fights to figure everything out, I'll be holding doors for strangers, letting people cut in front of me in traffic. Anybody know about that one? Saying good morning. Keeping babies entertained in the grocery lines, one of my favorite things. Stopping to talk to someone who is lonely. Being patient with sales clerks. Smiling at passerbyers. Why? Because I will not stand idly by and live in a world where love is invisible. Join me in showing kindness, understanding, and judging lust. Be kind to a stranger. Give grace to a friend who are having a bad day. Be forgiving of yourself, today and every day. Be the change, be the light, start today, and never stop. Yeah, isn't that amazing? And when I got this last month, it was like, oh, I really needed this, because it was like the world kind of was getting to me. So today, we're going to work on transforming our internal power. I always say give it away, to really give it away. But the difference today in just giving it away and walking away and saying, no, that's good enough, is we're going to give it away. Then I want you to see how people respond to you, because you're spiritual warriors. You have the ability to make this stuff happen. But we don't think of ourselves that way. We just kind of walk around and do what we do, and we do what we do, right? Or do you think of yourself as spiritual warriors? Raise your hand. Oh, good. All right, I'm not alone. All right. Well, Joel Goldsmith said this. And by the way, I brought all the books that I am quoting from today. So if you want to see what the books are, I have them. But Joel Goldsmith says this. There's no external change without an internal development. You might wonder, as you go through the years with no apparent change in your affairs, why this thing called God isn't doing something for you. There must be a change in consciousness before there can be a change in your outer experience. When you turn to a metaphysician for help and receive it without having expanded your own consciousness of good, you have merely been governed by the practitioner's state of consciousness. Sooner or later, in order to hold your good, you will have to realize your God being. You will have to cultivate a spiritual sense of existence. There are 3 things in this quote that I think are really important. The first 2 are, there's no external change without internal development, and there must be a change in consciousness before there can be a change in your outer experience. It's so interesting when I give a talk how it applies to me. Oh, I just hate that sometimes. And yesterday I had an experience which was really hard for me, really, really difficult. I won't tell you what it was, but I found that I had to walk a mile to change my consciousness because I wanted a different result and a different experience, which ultimately today became okay. But I had to sit through it to understand what transpired. And today everything is fine, but still it was hard. So anybody have one of those this last week? Yeah, everybody. Oh, good, I'm not alone. It's tough. That's the first time I've had one of those in a long time. So I was like, oh, what happened there? But then the last sentence, which is sooner or later, in order to hold your good, you will have to realize your God being. You will have to cultivate a spiritual sense of existence. And what I read that to mean is that we have to realize we are spiritual beings. We are spiritual beings. If we don't do that, this morning the first thing I did was pray for this to be resolved. I had to go in there and say, God, I need your support through this. I need to forgive myself, whatever it was, you know. But the point being is, if we're not seeing ourselves as spiritual beings, we're leaving a very important part of who we are out. And no matter what your experience is during the week, just know that. Just know that in a cellular level. So, we have an opportunity, and I called you earlier spiritual warriors. You're really truth warriors. You are agents of love, kindness, and compassion. That's really at the depth of who we are. But I don't know about you, when I get into a heated thing, do I think about that? No, not at all. But it's in there. Knowing that it's in there, it's something I can pull out. So today we're going to explore ways to see how to do this. And the first thing I'm going to do is call all of you to action. Now, I said that earlier. I don't mean this like, okay, today go do something nice. I mean it to really go out there and do something different. Really go out, and I will give you some opportunities today to actually go and do something for somebody else, and then see what the results are. So, what we have to do, and it's like it says in the poem, in fact I have it here, let me grab it. As the world fights to figure everything out. There's a lot of chaos going on. Anybody feel that? It feels a little heavy right now. It has for a long time. And I'm having to find myself to not watch TV or listen to the news so much, because it's just like, feels overwhelming. But because of that, we have to become the beacons of love and understanding. We have to. Anybody that's in a church today has to be doing that, because that's what the world needs. And that starts with small acts of kindness. Small, small, small. Because when we do that, it's just like when we throw a pebble into a pond, it ripples out. You've seen these commercials where, I don't know, somebody's walking down the street and a lady needs to go across the street and help somebody does that, and then she does something for somebody else. That's who we are, and that's what we need to be doing, paying attention to that. We need to hold the doors for strangers. I've noticed lately that more people are doing that. And I always feel so nice when somebody does that for me, because I never expected. We have to be patient on the road. My friend is online who knows what that means. You know, the ones that cut us off. I've noticed a lot of people are driving much faster these days. And sometimes it scares me. We have to let them go past and do their thing. It doesn't matter. We can just go slowly on the way to wherever we're going. And greet the day with a warm good morning. That was hard for me this morning, to greet the day. But you know what? I did it anyway. And it just opened the whole thing back up to love, which was the most important thing. Now, these may seem like, you know, ordinary gestures. But you know, when I grew up as a kid, and I think not all of you here, we're kind of in the same age group, that was something that we were taught. We were taught to be kind. We were taught to be, let a guy open the door for you, even though you didn't want him to. Right? We were taught those things. That was part of our daily life. I don't know that we get taught that today. But I'm saying I want to bring it back. Let's bring it back to those times. Not that we have to go to the 50s, okay? But kindness is forever. We just have to go ahead and do that. The second thing I want you to do is that I want you to start connecting with each other. How many people feel lonely because of COVID? I know I do. You don't. Oh, that's great. That's good. But you know what? There are a lot of people that are like me that do feel lonely. And I think that it is important for us to start connecting with each other. This last week I've had several people from the center call for whatever reason. And it's a cry for love, or cry for hope, or cry for how do I get through this, or a cry for someone's passing away. You know, it's like we need each other. We really need each other. So here's what one of the things I'm going to have you do, and I'll give you the method in a minute. I want you to reach out to anybody you know that may feel lonely. Anybody. Could be your friend, could be somebody at church, anybody. I want you to offer a listening ear and genuine companionship. How do you feel when somebody listens to your woes? Good, yeah. It's like, oh, we connected. That made a difference for me. And I want you to have meaningful conversations. It's so easy to see somebody and then just go, hi, see you later, good to see you, glad you were here. Right? Thanks for coming on Sunday. I want you to have a meaningful, I'm glad that you laugh at me. But it's the way it is, right? It happens all the time. I want us to stop doing that. Now, you don't have to spend time with everybody in the world, but I want us to pay attention. Because sometimes we need to go just that little tiny bit more, and you'll feel this clunk. Oh, we connected. And to me, that's just really important. And in fact, today, we're doing the living room conversation. Now, part of the reason I created this, it's after the service for about an hour, is for us to connect to each other. Get to know each other a little better. Get to talk about a topic that is of interest. Today is about trust. Trust. The thing is, when we do that, we make love visible, which is often overlooked by powerful people. When we take the time just to chill with somebody, just to have a little fun. In the, I have like 5 Bibles, right? This is the one that I go to all of them because I want to see what everybody in the world wants to say. But this one is called The Message, the Bible in Contemporary Language. And Jesus said these things, and I took it off of, I'm not paraphrasing, but I just took parts of the 2 quotes. It says, I've loved you the way my Father, God, has loved me. Make yourself at home in my love. In other words, feel Spirit's presence. I told you these things for a purpose, that my joy might be your joy, and your joy wholly mature. This is my command. Love one another the way I love you. So this is coming down from ancient wisdom, to love one another, to care about each other, to reach out, to be together. What I said, he's extending your love to others, and doing so you feel the joy inside you. When we really give that, we get it back, right? How many people serve in this center? Raise your hand. I want everybody to see. Maba, raise your hand. Who serves? Who does service in here? We got Martin, Tom. How do you feel after you've left church because you've been in service? Good. Yeah, it just fills you up. There's no hard. You serve too. You give us your love, and it's so sweet. What I want you to get is this. I put it in big letters. You are the extension of Christ's consciousness and heart. That's who you really are. And the more you give that, the more you're going to get back, the better you're going to feel. So if you're having a bad day, go give it away and stay with it. Feel it. The next thing I want to talk about is, I guess I can leave that up there, that'll imprint on your mind, right? Is I want you to start cultivating grace and understanding. And not only for other people, but for yourself. For yourself. I make mistakes, seems like daily, you know. And I have to really give myself forgiveness sometimes. And I use me, so I give you guys permission to do it for yourself too. But I'm going to give you some examples. How many people were on a phone call with either a sales clerk or customer service or somebody this last 2 weeks, let's say? And were they nice to you?
Yeah.
Most of them were, okay? I talked to somebody this last week where it wasn't like that at all. It's like, no, you cannot have what you want. You cannot have that. I will not give you your money back. Forget it. And I thought about that, and I thought, anybody that has got that bad of a day really has something else going on. And when that happens, sometimes we have to go, my needs are not my needs. They'll get met, maybe just not today, not this way. And so that's when we bring in that compassion, we bring in that love, and just kind of smooth it all out. How about coworkers? Coworkers. I have somebody that works with me that I barely know what they look like because they're in Las Vegas, but I work with them, and sometimes they don't do what I want them to do. And I have to go, well, why wouldn't they do this for me? Well, let's see, they have 3 kids. There's a big one right there. If you have children, man, that's a lot of work. Never mind 3 of them. Ages probably 6 months to 2 years to another year. Or there's something going on in their life. I have to take those things in consideration. So for my tendency is I want it now. Anybody want it now? I want it now, because we all learn that, is to back off. Just back off. Give them a break. How about a passerby or a distant friend? Give them a break. How many people, I keep asking these questions because I want you to think about what has my experience been in life? How many people see somebody walking down the street like this? Yeah, all the time. They're looking at the ground so they don't fall. The truth is, there's something going on in their head. So I always try anyway, is to look at them and then to smile. A smile does it all. And see if they smile back. And generally, they don't smile through the mouth, they'll smile with their eyes. You have them brighten their day. That's an important lesson for us all to practice. Having a compassionate attitude will make a difference for the world and for anybody that you're passing by. So, releasing judgment. Anybody have any judgment around here? I think we leave it at the door. We don't have judgment inside these walls. But it's important to know that there are a lot of people that do. And it's not something we have to fight. It just is what it is. I am going to make a t-shirt that says it is what it is. I hear that from more people all the time. But just remember you're spiritual warriors. So I'm going to ask you a question. Why do you think I decided to come up with this topic of truth of the spirit that you are, or that I am? What's the topic? Wake up to the I am of me. Why do you think I did that? Come on, you can talk. I like you to talk.
To make the world a better place.
Make the world a better place.
You believe it.
You believe it.
We needed to hear it.
You needed to hear it.
We're never alone.
What's that?
We are never alone.
We're never alone.
You like picking on us.
I do like picking on you. You're sweet. I love you too. There's always got to be one in the audience, you know. I'm glad you're here, Spencer. No, I love it. It's because I want you to refuse to stand by idly. I want you to refuse that. The world is a complicated place right now. There's so much going on with so many lives that we have to give our love away. Because love is something you don't see, right? It's invisible, but you feel it. Because you all know I love you, right? You do, and that's the truth. We are called to be the change we want to see in the world. You've heard that before, but it's important that you do that. So my talk's not really long today. In fact, I see Susie Zielinski's on. She's in Tennessee. Hi, Susie, yay. But I have an interesting closing today. And it's so interesting, last month, this is a funny story too. Last month I decided to go to a different hairstylist, right? Now, God works in funny ways. So I go to the hairstylist, and I'll tell you more about her in a minute, but I go to the hairstylist because this is the truth. I'm just always blown away. I go to my car, and guess who's sitting next to me in the other car? My old hairdresser. I got caught. I've never had that happen before. Anyway, she got out of her car and talked to me, and I said to her, I tried. I really tried to have you do my hair, but you just didn't get me. Anyway, it's lovely because I did go to a new hairstylist, and I think she's kind of figured me out a little bit. But I told her what I do for a living, and I always tell them I'm a minister, and so all of a sudden we start talking about God stuff, right? It happens kind of naturally. And she said to me, how do you explain God to children? My children are starting to ask me this. And I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to tell her? What am I going to tell her, It's such a simple thing to tell your child what God is, right? Not. What I said to her was, I don't think you can explain what God is, but you can explain the feeling and how they can see God in other ways. She's like, oh. I'm like, yeah. And so we talked a little bit about that, and then I said, you know what? Let me find some children books that maybe could help. And so, of course, Suzette goes out on a hunting spree now for children's book to talk about God. And I did. See, he's calling. And so I did. I went out and I found all used books, and I'm going to give them to her. But I started to read them. And it's so interesting when it's truly true that all we have to think is like a child, because the message is there, but we make it so complicated. Anyway, I found a book from Dr. Wayne Dyer, we all know him, with Christiana Tracy, the book of I Am. Isn't that amazing? So I'm going to read this to you, because I want you to understand what I just talked about in so many words is like nothing in this book. I mean, it's just very quick. I'll see if I can do the pictures and read upside down, too. I know. I am. Isn't this beautiful? I love this. I won't read all that because it's too small. But it says here, hello, my friend. Do you know who I am? Listen carefully to this rhythm and try to guess if you can. I'm doing this very simply because I think it's so special. Do I live in the clouds, so far away, or is it a temple or a church place that I stay? We all know the answer, right? I am in those places, yes, that is true, but only because I am in you. We are not separate. Wherever you are, I am there. I am in you, in your mind, and in your heart. I am everywhere. You're like a candle lit from a bright flame. My light is yours light. We're all the same. I am everything that is good and everything that is real. I am the source of all warmth you feel. Sorry, it's a little hard for me to read here. I'm the part of you that shares and gives from your heart. I am the inspiration, being you, music, sports, and art. Mama, look at that. I am the voices that you hear when you are quiet and still. I am the little bird on your windowsill. There's the bird. Judy, there's the bird. Judy's online. She's a bird lady. I am everyone you see, young or old, big or small. Believe it or not, I am in all of them. Who can I be? I am God, your best friend. I am there, really, online, where you start and I end. Do you hear what I see? Are you listening? For you will be amazed at what this knowledge will bring. You will live your life knowing it is never just you, and that we are together in all that we do. This is kind of hard to read upside down, guys. Along the way, you will feel great happiness and love, and you'll learn that wisdom comes true from within you. So don't look to the sky when you're looking for me. Look inside yourself, and that's where I'll be.
Yeah, that's.
Isn't that amazing? So, it's such a simple word. It's such a simple thing, but we tend to forget. And I'm just here today to remind you that you make such a huge difference in the world. You really do. Your love that guides others' actions, kindness that shapes our words, and compassion that you infuse with other beings. It's really important. So I'm going to ask you to be the light this coming week. And not just this week, but this week is about practice. So I have a gift for everybody. And they're going to bring these baskets and just pass them up and down. But there are 3 things in the basket. The first one is a postcard. It says thinking of you. And it actually has our address, and you can write your name on it and everything else. If you think of somebody in the congregation you would like to send this to, except for Candace, that's a little tough. Although Candace is, no, she's not here today. We have Jackie's going to have our addresses for all of our congregants. You're going to what?
Emma has some.
Oh, Emma has it, okay. So you can see Emma if you want to get somebody's personal address, okay? Now, if you just want to give it to a friend, send it to you. Now, let me ask, how many people love it when they really get something in the mail from somebody?
Oh, yeah, they do.
Isn't that kind of cool? So that's called a touch point. So we want to do that, all right? So if you want somebody's address from our congregation, you can see Emma. The second thing is, and I want to thank Mava for this, I stole from her, but we created a kindness card. So you have a kindness card, and you can give this away, you can hand it off, or you can go to Starbucks and just leave it on the table and walk away. But it's to spread some kindness. It says you've been given a kindness card. Someone reached out to you with an anonymous kind of act of kindness. Now is your chance to do the same. Do something nice for someone, leave this card somewhere, or be kind and pass it on. And on the front it says, give a compliment, cook for somebody, help an elderly, feed an expired meter, leave a large tip, pay for someone's coffee. I paid for someone at In-N-Out last month. It was so much fun, And of course, I don't even know if they told him who did it, but when I left, I just went, bye. So that's the second touch point. And these are called actions. Remember I said I want you to be in action this week. And the third one is, I gave you the poem. And I want you to put this in your purse, your wallet, your pocket, someplace, or in your mirror, where you can read this as a reminder to do this during the week. It's just really profound, and it's a time and something that we need right now. Would you agree? Okay, good. All right, so those are the things I want you to do. And then from that, I want you to watch how your love influences somebody else. What's the reaction? How do they act when you give it to them? Yes. Oh, there you go. So we have extras. We made extras. So and also this postcard that's here. I had these at home, and I would send them every once in a while to somebody. They're wasting at my house, so I'm going to leave these here. So if there's somebody you go, I want a bunch of these, then just do it, and just see what the reaction is. I want us to be the change in the world. I really do. It's so easy to just leave here and do your life. But if we know that we're consciously doing something, will change a lot of lives. You may think you're a few, but I'm telling you, you're not a few. If every one of you touched another person, and they touched another person, and they touched another, it just turns into thousands. It's all it takes is one touch. So I'm going to do the affirmation today for you guys. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, and I'm going to read the affirmation. It's only 7 words, but I'm going to repeat them over and over, and then I'll pray us out, and then we'll start our music. So the affirmation is, I am the light of the world. So when I read this, this is about you. You are the light of the world. I am 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 the light of the world. And I am the light of the world. And one more time, you are the light of the world. And so as I move us into prayer, I know right here, right now, that each person that is here today, online, those that are coming through or on YouTube or Facebook, that we're all the light of the world, and we can make a huge difference by just showing up and giving compassion and love and understanding, reaching out to those that are in need, people that we know, just to make a small difference and to feel that light that comes back to us. And so I bless this message today, knowing that it is meant to be heard, it is meant to be acted upon, and is meant to be embodied in our own life. And so I bless each of you as you go forward today to do this work in the world, knowing that you will make a difference and it will be felt. And so with that, I simply give great thanks, and I let it be, and so it is. Amen.
Whenever I have hurt in my heart, I ask, what will love do? Whenever I don't know where to turn, I ask, what will love do? Whenever I don't know what to say, I ask, what will love do? What will love do? Anytime that I'm stuck in my pain, I ask, what will love do? Anytime that I feel ashamed, I ask, what will love do? Anytime I can't find my truth, I ask, what will love do? What will love do? Love has all the answers. Love makes no demands. Love will lead me to the truth and help me to understand that life is all about love. When I have something hard I need to say, I ask, what will love do? When it seems another block is in my way, I ask, what would love do? When it seems I can't face another day, I ask, what would love do? Tell me what would love do? Oh yeah, what would love do? Love has all the answers. Love makes no demands. Love will lead me to the truth and help me to understand that life is all about love. In any situation, I ask, what will love do? When I'm feeling limitation, I have to to ask, what would love do? I need to look into my soul and ask, what would love do? What would love do? Oh yeah, what would love do? What would love do? I have to look into my soul, look into my heart and say, what would love do? What would love do? Yeah. What will love do? What will love do? What will love do?